Well, Overtime Elite, the 9-team basketball league for 16 to 20-year-olds, has now added former Hawks general manager and NBA player Landry Fields to be their new president of league operations. He will oversee all player development and operational aspects of the league. This, of course, while they're looking for ways to grow it. And, of course, Landry Fields is now joining us here in studio. Landry, congratulations on the job. So tell us a little bit more about what you'll be doing with Overtime Elite.
Yeah, well, you nailed it. I mean, just say,
I just read the resume.
That was it. Like, we're good. Kind of, no. I mean, really, it's taking a lot of my experience from like an operational standpoint and bringing it to OTE. I was actually joking with somebody yesterday, and because they were working at this big brand of a company, and they're like, yeah, we have like 50,000 people. I was like, that's amazing. It's like, yeah, I talked to my friends, and they always think it's like, it's just that or just that. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like in basketball. I think it's just players and coaches and whatnot. But I'm like, behind the scenes, there's this whole other body of work that is happening to create the infrastructure and the platform for people to actually excel at. So there's a lot of that in my job right now. It's taking like what is and what's being built and really taking it to a new level, bringing a new perspective and experiences. Of course, overseeing development, recruiting, and league operations, everything from competition to like what do the teams look like in the future. So there's a whole host of things that are going on, but a great team that's working for me.
I mean, obviously the growth of Overtime Elite has been amazing. The players that have gotten plucked and playing in the NBA obviously is a great feather in the cap for this league as well. But what still needs to happen in terms of growth? Like, what do you bring Overtime Elite to sort of bring it to the next level?
Yeah, well, it's like, well, how do we scale this? How do we continue to expand in such a way where we align with the ultimate vision of being the premier platform of this particular group of individuals, where if we have this concentrated wealth of talent, all under one building, all under one league, I should say, and continuously have them play against each other, drive development that way, and really let it be the visibility and exposure that, you're looking at young players today, specifically in the demographics that we're looking at, like, they're not just generating value in how they play, they're generating it in a whole host of other ways. And so at Overtime Elite, like you sit on a panel with a player that's introduced as an athlete and a creator. It's like, whoa, that has never really happened before. So as we continue to look at the future and expand, it's like, how do we involve those types of individuals? How do we think about our audience? Because we have such a unique and passionate audience around what we're doing. And then from there, continuously uphold the basketball. Because at the end of the day, like, you don't want it to be goofy. You still want it to look like the real basketball feel to it, but you do want to be able to put, some new skin on it and innovate the game in a way that allows this particular group of individuals, whether they're in OTE or the fans, and let them, really infiltrate culture, not just from like a top up from an NBA standpoint, but really from like this level. Like, how does that adjust and influence what's going on beyond, this particular league? And so that's been incredibly enticing for me, and part of the creative bent that I'd noticed in, being part of this moving forward and actually considering it for the long term.
Obviously, the current landscape and ecosystem of basketball right now is, to paraphrase Tom Izzo, it's the Wild West. It's, why should players join Overtime Elite than, say, go to college basketball or somewhere else? What is the perk of going to you guys?
Well, I think about a number of things. First thing is the competition. Like, at the end of the day, everybody wants to get better at their craft. So if we take players and bring them into one environment, and you have this concentration of elite talent every single day, you are practicing and playing against the best. It's an iron sharpens iron sort of deal. And if you surround them with staff members and coaches and individuals like, what I'm bringing to the table too, that can give them some of these development tools for the future, even better. So there's a preparation that's also for it. And at the end of the day, like, this is a sports media platform, and the visibility and exposure that they can get here versus anywhere else is unlike anything. And all the things that come with it, like, they can generate value and content and allow themselves that once the game ends, because unfortunately, like, it ends for everybody, like, I can attest to that. Like, what is that next thing, or what can you be doing side by side where you're also being an elite basketball player, but you got these other like crafts and creativity that you're managing and you're excelling with that are creating more value for you.
There's a lot that's been made about eligibility requirements in the NCAA and the NBA specifically as well. As somebody who has played college ball has worked in the NBA, has played in the NBA, and is now in Overtime Elite. What do you think the eligibility requirements should be? Because now we have stories of guys who have played in the G League or have been drafted or have signed NBA contracts, two-way contracts, now being able to go back to college. So, like, what do you think should be the eligibility requirements?
Yeah, it's wild. And I probably have to uptrain myself on some of the dynamics of that for sure. But at the same time, it's really like how can we serve and honor the kid? I call them kids. Like they're really they're growing. They're young adults,
right?
And give them a space to innovate on, and create it so that they themselves can continuously excel and succeed. Because for foreseeable history in the past, it was like there's kind of only like a one train kind of track that you can kind of move forward in order to get to the ultimate vision of where you want to go. So it's should you broaden it so that the eligibility allows for more? Maybe, I don't know, but I think at the end of the day, it's creating these platforms that ultimately different avenues and different individuals, regardless of their level or tier of basketball prowess, they can continuously excel on.
I'm curious also, somebody from the NBA as a player and then also working on in the GM space. What do you think of these rookie deals from when you were a rookie? Is it crazy?
I missed the boat.
I was going to say, you think that you could have been making so much more money.
No, it's no. I think about it often. No, I don't. It's a true testament to just where the world is at today. God bless them. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I think I retired from the league a year before there was this huge TV spike, and you're looking at all these new deals and whatnot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed it and whatnot. But that it is what it is. Sometimes there's plenty of things I look at and be like, I really lucked out and I was super fortunate where others can't. So there's always depends on your perspective and whatnot. But it's great. Yeah, you sign a rookie deal and you're looking at what potentially 2 to 4 years are going to look like for you financially. I mean, salute, that's totally, awesome, yeah. And so from our perspective, it's how do we create again that value for them now? Is it as much as that? I don't know, not today, but in the future, maybe, you never know. But in order to prepare them for such, that's another key component here. It's that level of preparation, not just on basketball, but when now you're at 15, 16, 17, 18, and you have a large sum of money, you're not getting to where you're ultimately going, and that's the first time. So now you have it, and we have the resources to help them out, from financial literacy and to all these different components that give them the training ground with not as much money as that right now, but with something no, you've got to be responsible. You are stewarding this for the future. Okay, great. How do we serve them in that?
The next couple days, we've got the NBA trade deadline. For NBA fans, this is catnip for all of us. I'm curious, as somebody who has worked in NBA front offices, most recently as the GM for the Hawks, what's going on the next couple of days? Take us inside, what happens in preparation for that deadline.
Oh, it doesn't happen 2 days before. It's you're starting to notice things well before that, right? I used to say we're not going to judge anything until 20 games in. That's when we have to really, because we want a large sample size and body of work and data that we actually trust. And so for NBA fans, no, those front offices they've been in the weeds on stuff for a while. This isn't just okay, it's around the corner.
Right.
Well, who are we going to trade or not trade?
Right.
That's not really how it goes. There's a lot of phone calls. There's a lot happening to keep players engaged in what they're doing, because as players, they hear the noise. They wonder too, am I going to be here in 2 days? Am I not? What's my agent saying? All the things, all those stories and beliefs are starting to creep up. So you're simultaneously having communication and trying to help them do what they do every single day, because there are still games to play. So there's a lot of factors to it.
Obviously, a GM reports the owner, but do you as a GM ever feel pressure from the fans that you have to make a move to sort of solidify the fans' attention for wanting for their teams to get better?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not necessarily pressure. Okay. It's more so there's a passion for them, right? There is this you always want to create the best product on the floor, and you do that with great players, and you do that with unity and this chemistry that goes on. And for us, even at OT, it's a very similar deal, right? Our audience, we are very passionate about it because they're very passionate about us. And as we look at our decision making and we look at the types of players that we bring in, there is that component into it. So is it driving the bus? wouldn't say so, but at the end of the day, like we do want to make sure that they are in our purview, and they're being thought of as we make our decisions.
Trae Young, what were your thoughts on how it sort of all ended in Atlanta?
He had a phenomenal run. Like it's just to do what he did, at the stature that he is, it truly is remarkable. Like it's very, very hard to do what he did. And he's got plenty of more runway, and he's going to continue to do great things. And for the city of Atlanta, you've got Dominique Wilkins, you have all these great players that have come through, Kyle Korver and whatnot. And so to have another player that they can look up to that was really carrying the mantle and had done some really good things. Ultimately didn't win a championship there, but got that team pretty far in the seat that he was in. So, it's a huge nod to him and the work that he put in. And frankly, like I said, he's got more work to be done. He's not that old. We'll be talking about Trae Young for a long time.
And one last NBA question before we go back to overtime. Knicks fans will kill me if I don't ask this. I mean, obviously the Knicks won yesterday, a big game against Brooklyn. But what happens if the Knicks don't win it all this year? Do you feel like there's more pressure on the Knicks to do something and win this year, or do they blow up the team?
No, it's...
Like, does Cat survive this?
I don't know. That's not the seat I sit in anymore.
Right.
As a former Knick, there's a passion I have around it. And I get it. I was here as a player, and I saw it from like a bit of a distance as an executive, and like I get it. Like the fans, like they truly talk about passionate fans. Like my goodness, like they truly care, and it is exhilarating and electrifying when you're playing in the Garden. I'm always leaning like, okay, like just take a look at it. If you succeeded, awesome. If you didn't, great. What's there to learn? And then from there, make your decision. So we'll see. Sorry, that's a diplomatic answer.
That's fine.
But at the end of the day,
I
don't have enough information on that. If the Knicks don't win it all, then gosh dang it, everything goes.
I was secretly hoping for a hot take that was going to be like, just tear it down, get rid of it.
No hot takes on that one.
Last thing, let's go back to Overtime Elite. Obviously, you guys have a lot of guys who have, become great, draft picks, from Alex Sarr to the Thompson twins to so many others. Who's the next Overtime Elite star that's going to be a lottery pick that we should be keeping our eye on?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Let me answer it this way, okay?
Diplomatically, of course.
Diplomatically, there are many, putting on my GM hat, right? Like the former GM hat, there are many that have a chance. Like it's kind of boring, but it takes consistency over intensity. And that's part of the language that I've even used with some of the players early on here, okay? Because it's pretty fresh. I'm like, they've asked, like, hey, how do I get to the NBA? Like, what do I got to do? I'm like, listen, my man, there's so much that is going to have to happen outside of you that's not within your control. So part of your calculus is like, what can you control? And what is the obvious thing that you need to do within your craft over a long period of time to set yourself up and give you the best chance of actually getting to where you ultimately want to go. But don't forget about like right now. Like there's so much here for you to be involved in and to be where your feet are at, because this even right now is going to be unlike anything that you are going into next, whether it's D1 college place or it's the NBA. So to take it all in, squeeze this for what it is, allow us to help you. Ultimately, all that will prepare them.
It's going to be exciting to see the continued growth of Overtime Elite and all the new players that, of course, that we're going to be introduced to. Landry Fields, the new president of league operations over at Overtime Elite. Landry, thank you so much for joining us.